Let's go to
Give me
5 on the dot.
5. No,
I'm getting 502.
We can go closer. We can go 520.
Ooh, I get 24, 16, 21. That's the closest I'm getting.
All right, 3,
2,
oh, wait,
1.
All right.
Wait, is it me or you?
Yeah, I know. I started doing it, and then you started doing it, so I was confused.
Okay, you.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right.
All right, so last game of the match here, and due to some technical difficulties, we've had to skip the champion select, and we're going to be a little bit pressed for time trying to get through this one. So hopefully, Saved, you stay connected this entire match, but we've already got some spicy new picks coming through here. It's going to be Spisa on the Zach pickup here. And they've got a lot of engage on this Infernal roster. Piecake Lord back on the carry-style top laner. They've removed a lot of the league options for tanks, and therefore he's going to be placed on the Jarvan here in this match. So we'll see how this 1v1 goes up there, but huge engage potential available for Team Infernal. I expect these guys to really be diving in and looking for the aggressive play.
Yeah, I'm looking at both of these comps, and right now, Piecake Lord is, again, he's on the Camille. He's on his signature pick. He really wants to be on this guy. Spisa, he's on this tank style of jungler, and he can really play the Gragas. And I think on Zach, you have a little bit more of a potential because you can look at different angles. You can get into the fight, and then, well, with Zach's ultimate, you can carry a couple of people just like how you can with Gragas, but you have to get into the fight this time, and you can carry them basically wherever you want around you. Julian as well, playing that control mage in the mid lane, and Noah Most kind of switching up. No, I think he played close to last game. Yeah, he did. So he played close to the last game, and now he can play it this game once again. And I think that this team is more set up to for this team's victory. The main reason why I'm saying that is now Julian gets to play a control mage he's really, really comfortable on. Spicer gets to play a tank jungler that he's really comfortable on, and the bot lane's really set up for the Alistar Kalista combo.
Very true. Fnatic on the Sejuani, we've seen it before. A lot of aggressive ganking coming out of this guy very early in the game. Something that you don't typically see out of a lot of Sejuani players. He really likes to try to set his lanes up for success, so we'll see if he goes for it yet again here. Julian in the mid lane just doing some wave clearing there as the bottom lane of Ashe and Iron Pyrite suggests that we may not be seeing the on-hit Varus build this game. This may be just a poke-oriented lane where they try to get that lethality set up on Varus and just try to poke people down from extreme range. It's something that you don't see typically or very often anymore. Ooh, the level 2 invade here from Fnatic. I don't know if this is actually going to work out for him, though. Finds the stun. Might be able to pop the Zac passive here, though. Fnatic smiting that red buff. He has no smite now, so he can't really steal this one away, but he gets his health bar nice and high.
I'm looking over at Team Cloud, and that's a Vel'Koz support.
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
There's a lot of lane dominance that comes out of this pick. It's not something that you typically see Iron Pyrite really want to play because he's been a lot more tank support oriented. So we'll see how he does on it.
Yeah.
Mid stun goes through. Cleanse comes out immediately by Julian to keep himself alive.
Yeah, Lynn Sanity definitely showing his dominance here in this lane. He loves to play these control mages, and he doesn't really. If given the jungle pressure and the opportunity, he can definitely start to pop off. But on someone like Syndra, I believe it was banned every single game versus this guy. But now we're finally getting to the point where he's allowed to play it. But this is now the point for him where he needs to pop off on a pick like this and show the rest of his team that he can play this pick, and show even the enemy team that you shouldn't have left this unbanned versus me.
Stun not quite connecting there from the Syndra. Instead, will just back off of that one. At least Julian will. Fnatic going coast to coast. They're not only stealing away the red buff of Spisa, but getting his own as well. A little bit of damage traded back there by Julian, thanks to that Thunderlord's decree. Sorry. Julian just forced to recall here. This is actually a tough situation when you are a mid laner. No TP available for him in the mid lane, and he's forced to head back to base and miss out on some of these minions under turret. Top lane now the pressure point for Team Cloud as Piecake Lord is underneath the turret league. And Fnatic in their area, but I don't think any engage available. Bot side, though, look at the damage that's able to be thrown down from Iron Pyrite on this Vel'Koz, trying to dodge away from all this range damage. The Ignite will pick up the kill there on Vel'Koz, and now TSUM can actually 1v1 Ashe with this damage on Alistar, but the minion wave is not permitting. It actually is too large for him to continue on in that chase, and instead they will disengage. Well played by Team Infernal.
Ooh, Zach
looking for the jump in, steps away from that elastic slingshot. The slow from that that stretching strike will not be enough. Flash forward under turret, Spicer to find the kill, burning that passive away from the turret range to actually keep his life. The minions are taking him. Wait, they're taking him down so quickly. Calm down, minions. Minions instead will let him live. The mercy of the minion will allow Spicer to get out of that situation.
That was so awesome, but in the top lane, there's more action. No,
a little bit of a trade there from Pie Lord and League. League disengaging that situation. Just look at how large that shield was for Pie. So hard for League to find an advantageous trade if that auto attack goes down.
Even in the mid lane.
Mid lane, more gank pressure comes through. Double flash in. Flash in from Fnatic burns the flash from Julian. Julian having that cleanse almost back up. He's almost in another secure window in this mid lane, but so much pressure being thrown down here in this final game of the set.
Dude, this is exactly what I've been talking about. We saw both of these teams in like games number 1, 2, and 3 even. They were very, very passive. They didn't want to overextend. They didn't want to be aggressive. They didn't want to really do anything too huge. But now in this game, we're starting to see these guys all over the map. TSUM really showing his aggression there in the bot lane and showing Noah most that he can go win solo, that he can provide that peel, that he can even kill the enemy. So now it's really getting to that point where both of these teams are getting very comfortable with the situation that they're in, and we're really starting to see a lot more aggressive play. Both of these junglers ganking here in the early game. Spice getting a really nice gank off in the bot lane to get himself ahead. Even Fnatic there in the mid lane getting a really nice gank off onto Julian, burning his flash. So Linsanity's already been dominating this lane, but now with that extra pressure, he now has a leeway for himself to get into this lane and really start to pop off.
A lot of pressure being thrown down here. We saw it early on. Iron Pyrite on this Vel'Koz can do a lot of damage here. Good knockup will prevent that engage out of TSUM on this Alistar. And instead, diffuse the entire situation as Spicer was in the area as well, looking for a way into the fight. Across the lane, it looks like, I think he got seen by that back minion. I'm almost sure that he got seen, so he's going to probably get out of this lane and look towards his blue buff, try to pass that over to the likes of Linsandy.
Yeah, and you can tell that he got spotted out because she casted her W, the wisp, towards the river, just in case Fnatic wanted to get out of the lane, just because he knew he got seen, and then go right into the river where he could have performed a gank over there. So really nice vision coverage by Noah most here in this game. He's really been looking out for these junglers in every single situation. He's doing it with style. But in the rest of these lanes, I also want to talk about this Jarvan pick, because we haven't really seen this in the top lane. It's usually used as a flex pick, but not really on red side. I guess if you really did want to pick the Jarvan in the first couple of rotations, then you could put it either into the top lane or into the jungle. But with a pick like Sejuani, you want to put the Jarvan here, and he's trying to get into Spice's head. He wants to get into the jungle here. Oh, that was close.
Ooh,
he got the kill.
He actually nets the kill there. He's now in a 1v1 against Pie Lord. Can he get out of the situation? Not going to actually go down quite yet. Good bounce away. Actually separates the ultimate there from Camille. Interesting tech there to use that CC from the blast cone to actually get away from that Camille ultimate, but still the good rotation out of Julian helps net his team the kill there, and they walk away with a 1-for-1 trade.
And I love teams that do this, where they or top laners, my bad, where they know exactly how to play the lane, and they themselves know how to predict where exactly the enemy jungler is. Right now, Fnatic is in the bot lane. They're looking for a dive. There's a TP coming in.
Yeah, TP coming through here for J4, trying to get into this bottom lane, but also Camille moving towards... Actually, no, recalling back to base. Has no TP available for them. And instead, they're going to allow this large pressure to be thrown down here by Team Cloud. It's going to be a hard situation. Team Cloud now disengaging that situation a bit as League canceled that TP down to the bottom side, and instead will head back up towards top lane. trying to use that advantage that he got off of some gold earlier on in the game in the 1v1, but the kill trade back really helped Piecake Lord. He's got a power spike of his own with that Sheen pickup, so those kicks are going to be hitting a lot harder now.
Oh yeah, we've been seeing this whole entire laning phase that Piecake Lord has been playing very, very passive versus League. Whenever he does try and go for this aggressive play in the top lane, League will have something of his own. He has his own damage. He's got this Tiamat. He started off with some stain with the corrupting potion, but now we're starting to see once again, like you said, Camille's power spike. He's also going for the Tiamat with the 2 long swords. So there's even an option, or even the Phage. So right now, there's so many options out for Piecake Lord here, but then also he has his ultimate available to him. So if the opportunity is there, if the jungler even wants to come up here, if Spicer wants to try and capitalize on League's flash, then again, there's another opportunity. So much has opened up in the top lane in just like a minute. And it's just up to Team Infernal if they want to capitalize onto this.
Definitely true. Team Infernal moving towards this top side of the map as well. A little bit of damage coming through on League. Ooh, the hard commit on Piecake Lord actually puts him in a hard situation here. He's able to actually get some assistance here from Spicer, who comes in. He knocks them together, pushes them back away from Piecake Lord, creating a lot of space here. Tactical sweep will slow down Fnatic. Second kick available, jumps in to get the true damage. Double kill from Piecake Lord, and now with no Shen in this game, Piecake's in a window where he can start taking over this top side of the map.
Yeah, that was an absolutely amazing gank from Spicer into the top lane, but it was really cool how the junglers met up there, but at the exact same time, so that we got to see that little bit of a skirmish. And I also love how Piecake Lord knew that Fnatic was there, but still went for the play because he had full trust in his jungler to land everything that he needed to land and time everything perfectly. He also knew that League only has a certain amount of damage because you have your EQ and then your W, and you also have your Cataclysm, but after that, there's nothing else but in the bot lane to fight.
Yeah, bottom lane CC goes down on from Ashe. Ultimate being channeled here by the Vel'Koz, meaning that Noah Most has to leave the situation entirely. Now T-Sum trapped between a rock and a hard place, but it still is going to get some support from Piecake Lord here. It looks like he's going to be ushering that support out of the situation. Piecake can actually turn here on the Iron Pyrite and create a situation, but he can't actually get that wall jump down yet again. He does help save his support there, but ends up giving up a kill to the mid lane of Team Cloud. Linsanity now with a little bit of a gold advantage over the likes of Julian.
Oh yeah, I love it. And Spice is going into the fight.
Yep, Spicer jumping in here, knocked up immediately by Iron Pyrite. Once again, the CC on this Vel'Koz is actually doing a decent job. Oh my goodness, moving in. Julian picks up 1 kill onto Ashe. The passive from Zach actually bringing him back to life here. Linsanity stepping forward to see if he can't find some damage. Cleanse a little bit late out of Julian. I'm not sure if they're going to find it here. Flash forward from Spicer looking for that stretching strike, but will not find it. And yet again, Team Infernal walking away with 1 more traded back kill and getting a lot of summoners out of the enemy.
Ooh, but it looks like there's a TP in the bot lane. It looks like there could be another play.
Another flank play coming in here. Cataclysm available for League in the situation. T-Sum maybe the target. Actually, a good headbutt to actually slide through that EQ combo. Ultimate thrown down by Fnatic to actually just get the CC that they need. 2 more kills picked up in the face of Team Infernal as Cloud walks away with 2 more kills thanks to that TP out of J4. And this entire time, Noah Most trying to get down mid lane pressure to see if they can get this first brick. Actually, no, second brick. Oh, behind the tower. It looks like they're just looking for the kill here on Ashe. A lot of damage going down from this Varus. Ultimate misses from Spicer, though. This may cause him to lose his life. No, he's able to pick up a blob and get just enough health back to actually survive that last turret shot and actually walk back in to help get this turret.
And I love Noah Moses' mentality here. He didn't go right back into the bottom lane where he could have potentially died. He went into the mid lane and saw that an opportunity there. You also see that Piecake Lord doing exactly what he loves to do, going into the top lane, getting that tower. But a very, very nice, just a whole game being played by both of these teams just because it's so scrappy. Both of these teams, they love to fight, and they're doing it with style. Just different opportunities that are being shown here. Julian finding a really nice shockwave onto one of the members to kill them, and then finally, you know, Team Cloud coming down to the ball lane, and then Infernal going all across the map, and it's just a really explosive game, really map heavy game, and we're looking for these main opportunities for both of these teams. And right now, both of these teams, they want to reset, they want to group in these main lanes, but looks like Team Cloud, they want to look towards these side lanes. It's looking like they want to send the top laner to the top lane, mid laner into the bottom lane to try and face off against Camille. But honestly, I think that right now, Camille is really strong, and I don't think Linsanity can kill Camille, unless an outplay happens, unless he can land some sort of really nice stunt. But we're going to have to see as maybe they face off, or if Syndra wants to go back into the with their team.
We will see what goes down here. Syndra, like you said, moving towards this mid lane. Ocean Drake available on that bottom side of the map. 14-minute mark here and only a 1.7k gold lead for Team Infernal. Significant at this stage in the game. Spicer looking for the jump in. Will not quite connect it thanks to a beautiful disengage out of Linsanity. Now the ultimate being channeled by Iron Pirate. There's no CC to actually stop him here. He actually cancels a little bit early there, seeing the Orianna ball come in off to the side thanks to Julian. Bottom side of the lane though, or bottom side of the map. It's Piecake Lord yet again on the split push, and no one down there to defend. Fantastic Shockwave making contact with both League and Ashe on the front or on the front side of the team there, and they will trade that out that mid lane outer turret for this bot lane outer if Piecake Lord is able to continue on and pick this thing up. He's still got half of the turret's HP to go here, so quite a while before he finishes this one up.
This is scary.
Sheen procs being used as much as he possibly can. Cataclysm burn, and actually the ultimate from Camille used as well. I think he can win this battle. He's going to jump to the dead turret and try to finish this one off. EQ combo. The patience, being able to wait for that last movement and actually make contact with the CC was key for League to pick up that kill.
Dude, that was so incredibly close. But League, really nice flash and reaction time coming out of Piecake Lord's a stun. I think that overall, just League outplayed him. And just provided the damage enough damage in order to take out the split push threat that is Piecake Lord. But he went to the bot lane. He had an objective in mind. He wanted to get that final tier 1 tower, and he got it. So now he can go back to base, spend gold in order to get his Triforce, and now he can go back into a side lane to apply a lot more pressure. It's looking like he wants to go into that bot lane just because he wants to attract some pressure down there so that the rest of Team Infernal can maybe start grouping towards this top side and get that Infernal Dragon. There's already pings going on it, and I think they really want it.
Team Infernal looking towards this Rift Herald. Pink ward being placed down by Team Cloud will delay the start if they do end up going for it here. Ward being used on the back, though, to watch for any potential engages. Pings are being thrown down immediately by Team Cloud, saying, hey, I think they are on this objective. We may find a window where we can find a clean engage and get that taken away. Control ward will negate the vision out of this ward off to the side. T-Sum and Spice are still working on this buff, but regardless, the rest of Team Cloud is starting to collapse here. They want to try to take this thing away, and they will do so. It looks like jump in from this Zac will get negated by the Q out of Sejuani, but look at that chunking damage going down on an Iron Pirate down to the bottom side of the map as well. Piecake Lord wins the 1v1 against League, and now he's channeling his TP up to the top side of the map. Jump in yet again from Spice-O, looking for the damage here. He will not find it. It is actually going to get popped into his blob form yet again. Iron Pirate still staying healthy on the backside of the fight. The ultimate of Linsanity could not pick up the kill on the Noah most as well. Now it's T-Sum taking up with his Alistar ultimate, trying to see if he can just soak as much damage as he can. Goes back in with a flash pulverize to knock out 3, but Julian does not have the mana to react to that play. Piecake Lord too low to rejoin the fight as well. He's going to move to the top side of the map and see if he can find himself a turret, but still very scrappy play yet again coming out of both of these teams.
I love his mentality. It's like, if I can't do anything in a fight, let's go into a side lane. But right now, Julian may be looking for an extra kill.
Yep, not going to quite find it, as once again, Fnatic able to jump over that wall fairly easily, and just not enough mana left available for Julian to really follow up.
Yeah, but now both teams resetting here. It looks like in that last fight, Ashe really did pop off, and that's the main problem with Kalista right now. Even though she does have her Bork, which is a little bit of damage, a little bit of attack speed, as well as those Berserker Greaves, she can't get into the fight just like how Varus can. Varus that whole entire time was on half HP, very vulnerable, but with a couple of people in front of him, but was able to just output a lot of damage onto the main targets. But the thing is, Noah most was on about a quarter HP, but couldn't get into these fights. But Piecake Lord in the bot lane. Come on, cameraman.
It keeps happening so fast that we keep missing it. No, Piecake Lord down in that bottom side, really throwing down his dominance.
Yeah, it's on manual camera, so that means that the guy's controlling it. Manual camera guy, what are you doing?
Yeah, come on.
I want to see his fight.
It's the Riot scatting grounds too for new camera people. This guy is not making the cut though.
Yeah, when Piecake Lord dies and he gets 3-man ganked in the bot lane, that's when we get to see it. But when he gets a crazy cool outplay, we don't see it. So it's kind of unfortunate, but they're doing their best. Let's
High
give 'em-
Kick Lord is becoming my boy real quick though, because he's
Oh,
playing
yeah.
these carry top laners, and I love watching it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you love this style of play where
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
give me
you
all the
love to
pressure,
split push.
all eyes
Yeah.
on me. Look at me
Yeah.
and what I'm doing, and if you don't respond to me, I'm killing 2 of your boys. I'm taking them with me.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We're just waiting for Pie Cake to play the Alawi, and then that would just be the icing on the cake.
I don't know if that one's gonna happen, but we'll see.
No. Oh, you like Orin now? That's right.
No, I know. I like allowing. I just don't think that it's a Pie Cake Lord style champion because it doesn't have that mobility that he likes.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Maybe one day, but right now we're 19 minutes into the game, and it's looking like Team Inferno is really wanting to get this mid lane under attacked. Usually, what we see out of this team is they send someone to the top lane, someone into the bot lane, and then they send the rest of the 3 members into the mid lane to really shove it out. And then whichever lane is winning, they go towards that side. So right now, it's looking like Team Inferno. They went to the mid lane, they stayed there for just a little bit, but now they're seeing an opportunity towards the top side of the map where Sejuani's up here, but as well as Syndra. But let's see what happens.
Ooh, a little bit of CC thrown down on this Rift Herald, trying to stop it from taking out the turret. Oh, one more auto attack finally gets it. So Team Cloud finally netting that one. Mid lane, Pie Cake Lord under a bit of pressure as both League and Ashe converge on that situation. Off to the side, Fnatic waiting in the wings to make sure that no one's getting ready to jump out from this brush. They finally clear out that control ward that they were standing on top of. And now they're going to regroup and try to find out what their next objective is going to be. Pie Cake returning once again down to this bottom lane, and it is a hard situation for League at this point. He's up in farm, but he's down in kills. And Camille has been hit her power spike with this Trinity Force. Now League jumping in to contest this blue buff, threatening the positioning, meaning that, hey, you don't know if I've got more people with me in this area. You've got to be really careful. Jump in on the top side of the map. Camera guy, please work this thing a little bit easier here as he does land the stretching strike against Iron Pyrite. Will not continue on as there's no other targets to help CC him up and allow his team to close that gap.
Yeah, and you see the type of team play that these guys are doing, like we saw last game, where they're really starting to kind of group up and use their advantages in their favor. But this whole entire game, it's only 1K difference between both of these teams, and I think that it's really anyone's game at this point. Whoever can play this game better. Pie Cake Lord may be looking. Oh, I thought that League was going to try and go in there, but I think that right now, when Camille really has her power spike, she has a lot of damage as well as a lot of lifesteal. So no one really wants to scrap with her at this point, but if they find this opportunity, if they find just a little bit of something, then I think that something really big can happen. It looks like League wants to go into the bot lane.
Interesting buffer there coming out of Pie Cake Lord. This is a 1v1 against League and Pie Cake. Look at the trouble that League is having controlling this Camille. Mid lane, huge fight, but T-Sum is taking the brunt of this damage. He's got his ultimate available, but no one is doing any DPS with him. Not enough mana available. Oh, actually, no, that's Spica down there. Everyone's got plenty of mana available. They should be in there just ripping these guys apart. Oriana Shockwave was available to get in there and try to make some big play happen. Now Team Infernal moving aggressively towards this Baron buff. They want to knock out this Vision as quickly as possible, but also threaten the take as fast as they can. Ultimate available here for Iron Pyrite, so they can stand to do a lot of damage. Pie Cake Lord now against Linsanity. The flash over the wall from Lin, just not able to get into the base quickly enough with footsteps, and still Pie Cake nets the kill. Now TPing immediately to the Dragon Pit to try to create a 5v4 scenario. TP in from League as well. He's looking for the knockup. He does connect with it, but there's no Cataclysm available. On the front side of the fight, Fnatic goes down to Pie Cake. No, he will jump over the wall to actually finish off and get away from that. Low HP Pie Cake Lord says, League, there's nothing that you can possibly do against me, but League says, no, there's definitely something I can do against your mid laner. Over the wall, Iron Pyrite dealing some decent damage will help take up the kill of Julian, but still, Pie Cake Lord is all over this map and is using it like a jungle gym.
Oh yeah, there's all of these fights back and forth. I believe it was even at the end of the, or no, Team Infernal came up with that one, but a really nice fight by Pie Cake Lord, because what exactly he did there was he killed 2 people in the bot lane and then he TP'd immediately into the fight. And this is exactly what he does every single time. If his team needs him, he's going to do anything that he can in order to get himself a little bit of a lead, as well as a little bit more on the other side of the map, which is exactly what he's been doing every single one of these games. And we've seen it over and over again. And I really like this style of play, because right now he's sitting 2 and 0, and has 2 of his main items, looking for his third. And right now, the rest of or both of these teams are really looking for something around this Baron, and they're not afraid to fight. They're not afraid to look for any sort of opportunity here, and it's really nice to see this very aggressive style of play. But right now, it looks like Cloud's maybe in a little bit more of a position because they do have the Scuttler and a little bit more vision around this. And I don't know if they're going to start it just yet, but it's definitely here.
Once again, pressure around this Baron buff, but Piecake Lord down this bottom side of the map. Despite having no TP, he knows that the enemy has no TP either. T-Sum actually sitting in the middle of the lane there, actually gets engaged on a little bit. The bottom side of the map, League actually doing a much better job of dealing damage against Piecake Lord, but look at this jump in and out, bobbing and weaving. Piecake's able to pick up the 1v1 kill, and now the inhibitor of Team Cloud is under pressure. They say instead, let's just go for the Baron buff, but now they're so disjointed. Their decision-making has been caused to become a little bit shattered, and now they have to go back to base to try to stop Piecake from just taking the entirety of the game here. They finally drive Piecake out of the base, and now they're able to regroup in the Baron Pit area. Once again, ultimate available for Iron Pyrite, which is key thanks to the magic resist shred of this Baron aura. Ultimate over the wall out of Fnatic and Ashe. Jump in from Spica on the front of the fight. Too early, though. It means that he goes down a little bit too soon. T-Sum actually helps get a kill there for Julian on the likes of Ashe, and now they're continuing on to Fnatic. Elastic Slingshot from Spica will connect with Fnatic and help pick up that kill. Ultimate does not get channeled nearly enough for Iron Pyrite to get carried back into the team, but he still nets a kill on the likes of that support Vel'Koz, and now League is still stuck in the base. He's like, I just resurrected. He killed me. Hey, team. And there's not much that he can do to join this fight and stop this Baron buff from getting taken. Uh-oh. Did it happen? Did we lose the saved one? Oh, boy. All right. So it looks like we're going to have the 20-minute stretch solo cast here. Wait, hold on. He's dead. He's dead, people. All right, I will drop call. Here we go. Solo cast initiate. So once again, we just have Team Infernal picking up that Baron buff off that top side of the map after a lot of scrappy play coming out of both of these teams here. But at the end of the day, a lot of the pressure is being thrown down by Piecake Lord, who's doing a great job of controlling the bottom side of the map and pulling the pressure down to him. These guys doing a great job of playing around the amount of pressure that Piecake Lord is able to put down in the bottom side of the map. But if he wants to continue on, he's got to move on to a different lane. These super minions are going to continue to control this bottom half of the map, but instead it looks like, hey, he's just going to force these supers in and continue on threatening Nexus turrets, it looks like, rather than moving on to the mid lane or top side of the map. So these guys really trying to put as much pressure as they can on the opposing side of the map, and instead of opening up the mid lane and the top lane simultaneously, they're going to continue on the pressure down on the bottom side of the map and try to create a larger distance in which the enemy has to regroup in order to get to this top side. Knowing that Piecake Lord can win the 1v1 against League, they're going to do everything that they can in their power to knock this one down. Auto attack's getting thrown down just a little bit there. Jump over the wall from Zach, but it looks like Julian's under trouble. Ultimate channeled there briefly by Iron Pyrite will pick up the kill on the mid laner of Team Infernal. Underneath his turrets in the bottom or in the enemy base, Piecake Lord takes a bit of hatred there from League. But it looks like Cloud's just having a hard time controlling Piecake Lord on this Camille pickup. Jump in from Spica actually forces the flash out of Linsanity. They will walk forward and try to take out the likes of this front line for Team Infernal. Spica taking advantage of the heal coming out of Noah Most, but if the movement speed's not going to be enough to take him out here, Piecake Lord in the base still ulted up by the Cataclysm from League. And look at the healing and sustain that's coming out of this Camille. The Ravenous Hydra combined with that tactical sweep doing a fantastic job of keeping his health bar high. And now the disengage coming out of Camille on the bottom side. Linsanity looking to see if he can't find some damage onto the side lane split pusher, but he doesn't have his ultimate up quite yet, and he knows the amount of damage that Piecake Lord has been doing in this game means that if he goes to regroup onto Piecake, if he doesn't have other people with him, then he will still have his life in danger. Using this window of low pressure in the bottom lane thanks to the disengage from Piecake Lord and the hesitance to pursue into that no vision area, Team Infernal is just going to take away this airdrop Drake and look to see if they can't utilize some more rotational play with that movement speed. Thank you, camera guy, from switching over to the gold values, and you can see that on Team Infernal, a large portion of their gold lead is contained in Piecake Lord, who's been utilizing the side lane split push play. So if they lose Piecake on this one of these side splits, it's going to be a much more even fight, even if they go 1-for-1 on that trade on the bottom side. So they have to do everything in their power to make sure that they're managing and juggling their pressure properly to see if they can make sure they can take advantage of this gold lead on the bottom side of the map. Mid lane jump in from Spiso way too early. He's going to actually go down for free here to the likes of a couple of the ultimates from Team Cloud. Julian caught up as well. He steps forward looking to see if he can't find a shockwave. He does find one, but there's no way for Noah Most to get damage done here. Look at the gap close that's coming out as Noah Most is actually able to kite this one out, staying in and throwing down a couple of auto attacks, but still, it's not enough damage to take out the front line of Team Cloud. Bottom side of the map, Piecake Lord is getting TP'd on his league, rejoins the fight, no ultimate available, tries to jump in. He will actually have any wall jump, jumps onto this, oh my goodness, and obliterates Iron Pyrite immediately. Now swinging, kicks into league. He's got that Bramble Vest to mitigate some of that healing out of Piecake Lord, but Piecake says, you know what? There's kind of a counter to Bramble Vest's healing having. What if I just get double the healing items and then just have normal healing at that point? So really trying to play around the sustain build and try to stay in this bottom lane as much as possible. Once again, taking down that bot lane inhibitor and opening up a window of pressure for his team to play around here. So a lot of stuff going on here, but we're surpassing the 33.5-minute mark. Look at this positioning from Piecake Lord. This is like what this is what I like seeing on the split push. Sometimes it's not time to just push down the lane blindly. You have to wait for your team to get in a position of pressure, a position where they can react if someone does come and group on you down in that bottom lane. And so now he's playing the patience game from here on out, making sure that he stays down there in the bottom lane in a position where he can't be found easily, but he can get into the lane and get the pressure down instantly if he really has to. Look at this, just letting the minions do their job, waiting for his team to get into a position. He sees enough of the enemy down in that top side of the map that he's going to step out and get some pressure down on this bottom side. Now stepping forward and revealing his position. The rest of Team Infernal trying to find a window to to take something on this top side of the map. The recall coming out of Ash, just a little bit risky there. Almost gets found out by Spice's stretching strike, but instead he's going to be able to recall to safely and move off to the top side of the map. I talked about in the early gate stage of the game that maybe we wouldn't be seeing this on-hit Varus build. Instead, maybe we'd be seeing a more long-range poke-oriented Varus. But I guess when you have the hard engage coming out of Spice's Zac, you can't really afford to be looking to poke the enemy down. You may not have that window of safety where you can throw those Qs from long range. So instead, going for that on-hit build, knowing that at any point in time, a huge blob could be flying over the wall, landing on top of him, and forcing him to start immediately trying to disengage and throw down as many auto attacks as he possibly can before he's put under more threat. The game slowing down just a little bit here as both teams try to analyze the situation. Baron coming up in roughly 24 seconds, so you have to imagine that could be our next point of contention here on the Rift, as these guys try to analyze their situation and figure out what the best approach is to getting control of that area. Look at the amount of vision that Team Infernal has put in towards the red buff and around the entrance towards the Baron. Spiso looking for the jump in onto Ash, will not channel it fully and release. Instead will cancel that and step backwards. Julian kind of in a situation where he could get pinched if he's not too careful. Little bit of poke getting thrown down by Iron Pyrite, who's been doing a fantastic job on the support Vel'Koz, especially since it's very different than what we typically see him play. A lot of tanky supports by him. Bottom side of the map, Piecake Lord trying to stay alive here. Will jump in on the Ash and chunk him down to half life, but still cannot find the kill there. And does open up a window for his team to immediately move towards this Baron buff. Both Rend and Smite being used there to secure that objective and extend their gold lead to roughly 4.5k gold. So once again, Team Infernal in the driver's seat at this stage of the game, but if they do continue to hesitate, I think they do get outscaled just a bit. Reason being is Ash does a fantastic job of killing frontline tanks thanks to that Runon's Hurricane, Blade of the Ruined King build, combined with the third stack pops on that Varus W passive. So he's got a lot of percent health damage available to him as long as he doesn't go down early on in the fight. And that does not match up quite as well to the single percent health build coming out of Noah Most. Noah, with the armor advantage, though, having that Lord Dominic's Regards finished up, means that you can't shrug off this damage coming out of the Callista very easily. You do have to pay a lot of attention to how it's working here in the game. Dragon coming up here very soon will be a mountain dragon, and Team Infernal wants to play around that yet again. They've been pretty dragon oriented this match, already having 2 under their belt. Even though they haven't been the 2 most impactful dragons, they have been ones that give them just a little bit of an edge in the game here. And Noah Most doing what they can to drop as many spears as possible into this buff. The Ren is going to do probably 2.5 or 1.5k damage on the pullout, just judging by the amount of spears that there were there. Both these teams now just moving around the map. Baron buff picked up, but you will notice Pykic Lord does not have it onto him in the middle lane. It looks like a lot of engaged being used onto Spica yet again, seeing if they can't get the pick off on that front line, because once again, Ash does a great job of managing the health bars of the enemy front line. He does so much damage to them, and if Spica is once again too hasty on his engage, he will put himself in a situation where his team cannot follow up, and the damage cannot protect him on that front line. Top side of the map, Pykic Lord looking to see if he can't find something here. A lot of damage being dumped onto Spica, using that short charge, let's bounce, to knock away the enemy team and get him out of that situation. It looks like Team Cloud is just trying to do whatever they can to knock this Zac out and try to protect their backline, because once Zac is on the map, off the map, there's no one in the 4-man stack of Team Infernal that can really put the pressure on the backline of Team Cloud. It means that Ash and Linsanity have full reign to just dump abilities down and do whatever they want in terms of just dealing and dishing damage. So you will continually see Team Cloud engaging on Spica, but on the top side, it looks like Pykic Lord is getting collapsed on. A little bit of a misstep here, as he did not watch out to see if his team had pressure on the rest of the map. The enemy circling around. He uses the ultimate out of Callista to get that knockback and then jump away. Good damage onto Linsanity. Not quite down yet. The headbutt will be enough to take out that kill. Bottom side of the map, Team Infernal able to get this bottom lane inhibitor for the 3rd time this game, and then start looking towards the mid lane inner turret to see if they can't find something here. Spica taking a little bit of turret damage there, but he will not mind. Plenty of health available still on him. Pykic Lord managing to heal up thanks to the Ocean Drake and the lifesteal that he's built into his kit. Top side of the map, EQ combo not going to connect onto him. And now they're doing a great job of putting down this pressure. Infernal just in the minds of Team Cloud, it looks like. Knockup connecting onto T-Sum out of Iron Pyrite, but it's not going to be enough to actually commit onto. Sejuani Ultimate still looking to come off of cooldown. It's not quite there yet. Top side of the map, looks like we've got a 1v1 happening and a 4v4 on the other side. Varus taking out the kill onto T-Sum on the bottom side of the map. Flash away from that ultimate out of Orianna. Iron Pyrite keeping the entirety of his health bar. Spica carrying forward the Fnatic away from his own base. The Chains of Corruption did go wide there from Varus, but now Spice is going to take him down in the brush here of the enemy jungle. He is in his blob form, but it will not matter as he just gets executed fairly easily. Pykic Lord managing to find a window to where he can take away that red buff. But look at the enemy base here. So much of these inhibitors have been taken out. Team Cloud is going to have a hard time defending their base. Baron not on the map to really put the nail in the coffin right now, but with the amount of pressure that should be coming out of these double super minions down each lane, it should be enough for the hard engage comp of Team Infernal to just step forward and put the pressure just with them showing up in the enemy base to have the enemy, to have Team Cloud not have enough time to clear out minions and try to throw a poke down and try to dissuade Team Infernal from taking away these final structures here from them. So a lot of threat being caused by these double super minions, and we'll have to see how Team Cloud chooses to manage these. Pancake Lord in a position of just waiting to synchronize his split push with the rest of the team comp, being very patient to wait for the rest of the minion wave to step forward and try to make sure that he's in a position where the enemy has to choose. Are you going to go for me, or are you going to try to defend the rest of your base with your team? Engage happening here in the mid lane. Good Orianna Shockwave actually only connects onto the front line of the team, so it's not going to do nearly enough. Kill going down onto T-Sum and Noah most immediately early on in this fight. Pancake Lord off to the side will not find a way into this fight as well. And it looks like Team Infernal is just losing out in their team fight pressure. There's so much damage that's getting thrown down by Team Cloud. A lot of it is attributed to the fact that Ashe has that tank killing the build, but also they have an additional damage source in Iron Pyrite. This Vel'Koz cannot be something that you completely ignore, considering he's got the Luden's Echo, which gives him a significant amount of damage, especially against T-Sum, who does not have a lot of magic resist in his build, only having that Lock of the Iron Solari, which I think provides 60 for him. And the true damage that's coming out of the abilities on Vel'Koz as well means that the damage reduction that he typically would see on his Alistar ultimate is not being utilized. So he's got to be very careful on how they operate these team fights. And Julian is really struggling to find key targets with his Orianna Shockwaves. No magic resist penetration means that he's going to continually have a lot of his damage thrown out of the window, thanks to Fnatic and League having substantial magic resist in their builds and health bars built up. Bottom lane, ultimate thrown down onto Piecake Lord, who still has a window to get out of this fight. He will jump to the wall there. We'll move out of this one. Double collapse on the bottom lane opens up a window there where Infernal can take this Baron buff away. It's going to be an easy take as no one is even near the pit. And they've got a window to where they can start playing around these double inhibitors yet again, but they've got to move quick. These inhibitors are respawning fairly soon here, and as a result, they will lose their pressure that they have on the map if they do not capitalize on it. Instead, they're going to use this window to try to take a 3-dragon buff Infernal Drake. And that's a lot of utility that they have available to them here. If they move quickly, they can get into the enemy base, use the super buff, which is Baron buff combined with any sort of Infernal Elder Dragon buff, and walk into the base and look for an advantageous team fight. This is pretty much their only window that they've got to take away a big team fight win. If they go for it here, bottom side of the map, Piecake Lord under 2-man pressure, jump in from Spicer to assist. Dragon Strike will not contact with anything there. Disengage now happening for Team Cloud as they try to defend what they can off these Baron buff minions, but it opens up a window for Infernal to take away that bot lane inhibitor yet again. They could move around the horn here and try to get to these middle and top inhibitors as well, but with that low turret, they've got Piecake Lord who really wants to step into the base and start limiting the health bars of the enemy. It looks like the Guardian Angel almost popped there on Piecake Lord. No, it did get popped by the Syndra ultimate out of Linsanity, but that means they do not have it to help kill the front line of Team Infernal. Dragon buff actually not lasting too much longer here as the half of the duration has been burned already. These guys need to figure out a window back into the enemy base. But they are waiting, playing patient. Piecake Lord has come back in. He's looking to clear out these minion waves yet again. Stun on Syndra up on the top side of the map. Did not connect there. EQ combo down onto Piecake Lord from League. The jump out from Piecake Lord will get him out of that Cataclysm as well. A lot of cooldowns being burned here in the enemy base, but once again, it's not just a battle against Team Infernal for Team Cloud. They have to also battle these minions. Oh my goodness, whiffed Orianna ulti here. A lot of just questionable plays getting here used here, or questionable plays occurring here. And now it's kind of a waiting game for Team Infernal. Baron buff being used here to try to just throw down the pressure. Once again, another ultimate missing here, this time for Fnatic, not connecting on the enemy. Ultimate being used to save the likes of T-Sum away from that ultimate out of Iron Pyrite, and now they're just trying to do what they can to hold on to the rest of their base. Piecake Lord and the rest of Team Infernal doing what they can to try to hold on to the pressure here, engage onto Spica. The Locket of the Iron Solari used on T-Sum to try to keep him up, but it's not going to be quite enough here. Noah Most throwing out his auto attacks, but it's not nearly enough to try to dissuade this pressure from Team Cloud. They look like they're making a little bit of a comeback here in this team fight. Pike Lord trying to body block Form Spice, but instead they just get stunned up as well thanks to the Syndra. Linsanity finding the two-man connect there on that Scatter the Weak. And the rest of the team now regrouping outside of the enemy base as they finally got through all three of the enemy inhibitors a second time. But you can see how much trouble these guys are having taking away the enemy taking away the enemy structures. There's a lot of engage potential that's available on Team Cloud, and with Ashe and Fnatic able to catch people out pretty much as they see fit as they step forward, not even having to discern between targets. These guys are having a hard time finding the engage that they're looking for. The Orianna shockwaves have not been connecting on the targets that they're looking for. A lot of ultimates were whiffed in that last team fight, even outside of that, though. So it's hard for these guys to get in there and actually find the kills that they want. Now with Baron buff finally fading away on Team Infernal, they're not going to be nearly as effective on their push into the enemy base. So, whew. A lot of stuff going on here. 44-minute mark here, going on into the 45-minute mark. The health or the gold lead, though it has expanded, it's a lot less impactful as the total amount of gold in the game is enormous. Every team member having above above 10k gold, so a lot of gold being obtained here. Fnatic looking to engage on Julian, will not find it there. Jump in from League to find a situation to get himself into. Let's bounce, getting League back, or Spica back out of that fight. League going down to the Callista. Auto attacks getting thrown down by Noah Most. He's in a situation where he can finally get good auto attacks onto the back line. Ashe trying to do what he can to continually throw down auto attacks, but he knows that he's in a very sticky situation here. Iron Pyrite continually throwing down what damage that he can on the back end of the fight, but he will not be able to get enough here. It's too little, too late. Infernal finally finds their window into the victory screen here as it came off of the back of a kind of interesting engage. No Sejuani ultimate meant that they could not lock up Spica on that front line, and as a result he's able to get himself out of that team fight safe and sound. Woo! And that's going to do it here for us today on our Scouting Grounds casting stream. Unfortunately, Saved was not able to finish out the cast thanks to a couple of technical difficulties and a little bit of forgetfulness, but either way, we were able to finish out the cast fairly strong with a little bit of solo casting, which I am now reminded is very tiring. But as a result, guys, I'm going to step away from my computer and find some food to eat and something to rest my voice on and get prepared for some streaming that I'm going to be doing later on today. If you would like and you're new, make sure you come back a little bit later tonight at roughly 7:30. We're going to be starting the Game Lads podcast, where we're going to be talking about a couple of topics in video games, and I'll be joined by my friends Platt Gilbs and the MD. Make sure you show up for that. Also, look in the highlights of the stream if you like what you're seeing. There was a lot of casts that went down yesterday for these matches, so if you want a way to watch these games and have some talk and go over it, it is a good way to enjoy these matches. Also, there's a lot of other content there for you to enjoy, and keep an eye out because I will be having a YouTube up and running very soon here. Once again, if you want to see more of me, you can find me on Twitter at itsstretchtime. And yeah, for that, thank you guys for joining me. If you're listening to this on YouTube, make sure you go over to twitch.tv/itsstretchtime for more stretch content. I'll have games, guides, casting, and all sorts of stuff for you guys to enjoy, and I'll try to churn that stuff out as quickly as my body and brain can handle. But other than that, I'll see you guys on the Rift and in other places as well. See you guys next time. Hope you have a delightful day. Peace out.